Лори, консультант по торговле на фьючерсных рынках, член Национальной фьючерсной ассоциации США. 15 лет торгует через лондонские и сингапурские частные банки и клиринговые фирмы, управляя личными и частными фондами. В торговле использует фрактальный и фундаментальный анализ рынка.
Hi, Chris. It's nice to see you here at the conference in Singapore.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Can you tell us, how did you get into the financial markets?
From the time I was very young, my dad really guided us to sort of having a mindset of financial independence, and he was always talking about the financial markets, and I was really interested in it. So, but of course, I first had a sport career that was taking priority for a while, but in the meantime, I was still studying about the financial markets, and although I had no money from sport, but then when I retired from sport, I was well prepared to make the transition and decided to really focus specifically on foreign exchange.
Does your sport career helps you the market?
For me, it was sport, and having a pursuit in sport and setting goals in sport, and really having to calculate and plan very definitively how I was going to achieve certain things in sport really got me to understand the process of starting at point A and arriving at point B, hopefully. And so what I didn't realize at the time when I was in sport was that I was engaged in this process that I was effectively internalizing and becoming familiar with. And it wasn't until I started studying and trading in the financial markets, specifically foreign exchange, that I was able to convert what I understood about the process into how I was going to achieve progress in trading in the foreign exchange market. So sport was really critical for me. But I think that anybody who wants to go into trading, I believe that everybody has gone through a process where they've had to struggle in order to achieve something, whether it is a natural ability that they have or not. I think everybody's gone through a process that they can adapt to trading. And so for me, it was sport.
In your opinion, which financial market is the most popular?
Well, I think that in terms of popularity of financial markets around the world, I think really the market has their eye on the U.S. equities markets as kind of a core, or a core distinction in terms of what's the overall sort of general sentiment for the market. But in my opinion, the foreign exchange market is the most transparent. So you don't have people back in these boardrooms making decisions that's going to cause your asset to drop by 20 or 30 or 40% the next day or the next week. And every asset is traded in a currency, which makes it, of course, highly liquid. And we watch the central banks for sentiment. We know when the data is going to come out, and so we're fairly clear in what is likely to happen in terms of currencies and currency volatility, and any of the surprises that come about, the whole world finds out about at the same time. In the majority of the cases, 99.999% of the cases. So I love the transparency of the foreign exchange market. I love the fact that it is so liquid that we can gain a very, very good connection with the different central banks, with the liquidity, the price behaviors, more so than we can in other asset classes. And so I think it's really distinct in that way that for example, my portfolio, I only really need to be in foreign exchange. Just a matter of moving funds from one currencies to others, and there's all kinds of different ways we do that, as well as trading an intraday spot model. So it's really all we need. I find that going into other asset classes can be very, very risky because there's a lot of blind spots. And so I love the foreign exchange market.
What do you think guests of the conference should pay attention to?
I think that the guests of the conference should be very, very careful, depending on what level they're at, of course, but a lot of guests that come to conferences, they are looking for something to copy, and it's really, really important that the guests really focus on what the process was that maybe a trader has taken, but be more process focused and understand things more conceptually. Because if you engage in the process of developing as a trader, just like you would engage in a process of developing at anything, there will come a point where you'll know enough about a certain segment of your area of specialty that you become an independent thinker or an independent operator within that domain. And I can assure you the pattern is that with successful traders, the time at which they become successful is the time that they have enough confidence and enough knowledge in their space, their niche in the market, that they're completely an independent thinker. And so I think it's more focusing on the process. And for example, the information that we provided today is really applicable to any model. And yet it helps you to understand the market more intimately. So you can apply that as a part of your growth process.